You know what a shit barometer is, Bob?
Huh?
Measures the shit pressure in the air. You can feel it. Listen, Bubs, hear that? The sounds of the whispering winds of shit. Can you hear it?
No, I don't hear anything.
Oh, but you will, my sorry little friend, when the old shit barometer rises, and you'll feel it too. Your ears will implode from the shit pressure. You were warned, Bubs. But you picked the wrong side. Beware, my friend. Shit winds are a-coming. Because we live here.
Welcome back to the Clowntown Chronicle, where the mainstream is dead and we are here to watch. They put another nail in their coffin this week. I will tell you what, guys, it is so over and we are so back to the Clowntown Chronicle. No one trusts the news anymore. And it's getting pretty obvious that they're like basically a hostile force in this country. I mean, who knew, right? Which is great because it's time. It's really time. It's no longer just some clownish thing that we make fun of boomers for listening to. It's the enemy, and we're here to talk about it. Joined again by Adam in Exile. Hello, Adam.
Hello, I probably sound terrible.
You do. You sound much worse than usual. I guess that's what we get, though.
Well, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah. Well, you forgot your microphone on this important emergency podcast, which,
yeah,
you know, let's pretend like it wasn't a forgetfulness thing. It was an emergency thing. You couldn't get your best equipment, so you showed up with what you had.
Yeah, after everything that happened this weekend, I immediately jumped in my car and drove to Central Illinois as a way of penance, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I mean by that. But I'm sorry I sound bad. I've got a fan in the window blowing on me, so hopefully that doesn't... hopefully people can't hear that.
Well, they can.
Otherwise, I'm going to boil alive, so...
Well, we don't want that. We definitely don't want you boiling alive, not on the Clowntown Chronicle, the silliest podcast on the internet. It's been a hell of a week, and I know you have been trying to avoid the news, yes, as usual?
It's been impossible.
What do you mean? Did something happen?
Yeah. Silk Song came out.
Oh, right, of course. Is that why everyone just, like, went silent and left the office at the same time?
Did something else happen, Aaron?
Something else might have happened. Now, I don't want to get, like, too crazy into this, but it's going to be the whole show. There's, like, nothing else. It's not that there's nothing else worth talking about. It's just that there's so much news around it. I don't want to have just, like, a recap crazy thing where all we do is we just sit back and we go, aha, can you believe this happened over and over again? Because by the time this comes out, everyone's going to be kind of over it in a way, right? Like, yeah. People's attention spans are very, very short.
I think we should fill 2.5 hours with pure speculation and conspiracy theory.
See, that's the thing, is like the conspiracy theories started coming out, and I usually love myself a good conspiracy theory. But quite frankly, I had almost like no interest in conspiracy theories on this one. Because to me, I just don't know if that's like as important right now. Like maybe someday we'll figure out who was gooning on the grassy knoll. But right now,
I think part of the difference nowadays is that everything's so conspiratorial and there's so many parts moving that entertaining conspiracy theories is almost as valuable as like trying to just evaluate the quote unquote facts. This whole thing is such a mess.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know where to start. It's like I can't go to the truthers because they've all got different ideas, and it's like the Epstein thing. It's like just ignore it until it goes away. Oh, and also let's do everything we can to denigrate the victim.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude, Have you ever read the Flat Earth article on Wikipedia?
No.
It is the most like Redditor um condescending, hilariously bad article I've ever read. And I didn't know who Charlie Kirk was, so I was like, "Oh, I'm going to go to Wikipedia." It is exactly the same tone. It is this Reddit nerd being
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, flat earthers are idiots, am I right?" Charlie Kirk was an extremist. It's like, um, what it sounds like to me, he was just a conservative debate kid that people like to listen to. And I
Yeah.
knew dozens of people just like him growing up.
It's good. It's good that you mentioned Wikipedia because before before it was even confirmed that he was dead, somebody had changed the Wikipedia to call him a white supremacist.
Amazing.
Which I don't know what you saw when you were perusing that, but those are the kinds of things they called him: a neo-Nazi, a white supremacist, a white nationalist, like white, all that classic smearing stuff.
Yeah.
Which to me, like knowing what I know about Charlie Kirk and having made fun of him for years, and never once did I register him as any of those things. Any of those things. And I've seen the clips that they're all referring to. He doesn't say any of the things that they say he said. We're not going to do a breakdown here because it's a waste of time. You know it's a lie.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, to be fair, I haven't listened to Charlie Kirk unless he's come up on the show at any point. But all I know about him is that, I mean, like I said, like you and I grew up with dozens of people just like him around us, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's my age. He's from Arlington Heights, Illinois, which we lived near for a while.
Yes.
And he was a debate guy. And immediately in the mind of a conservative ex-homeschooler, or not really, I'm not conservative, I'm moderate, I don't know what I am, but definitely not left.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I take it back. I am conservative 1,000% because I want nothing to do with these morons that continue to make this stuff happen.
Yes.
I want nothing to do with them, just like all the other people who are seeing how far this has been pushed. And you and I have seen it coming. I think a lot of people have seen it coming. I spent my college career and my current career surrounded by cool liberals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now to think that any of them next to me could be saying, yes, it's good that this man was shot.
Yes. Well,
makes me sick to my stomach.
Here's the other thing. You and I spent our college years around leftists who were sneering at us and telling us we were idiots and that sort of thing. And we listened to them back then because we were like, well, you know, they can't believe it for no reason.
Well, they were like the cool kids on the block back then, right?
Yeah, they were like the goth girl.
They were spawned of the Obama presidency.
Yes.
Where it was like, oh my God, it's so cool. We have a black man as the president. It's like,
Yep. Conversations about weed and how the president was black. That's about all they had.
Yeah.
That's about as deep as it went. Now, I just want to add something. Yes, he grew up in Arlington Heights. Yes, he was involved in debate. But you and I may have spent our college years around these people. We spent a good chunk of our high school years literally in Arlington Heights debating. Yeah. There is a non-zero chance you met Charlie Kirk when he was 15. I'm not kidding.
I know. And that's not why, like, again, I've never listened to this guy. I didn't even know who he was until this last week. But, I mean, maybe it is just the similarity of him to us, his experience, where it kind of hits a nerve where I'm like, oh, wow, okay, so the homeschoolers that I thought were crazy were absolutely right. That these people want us dead.
Yes.
You know, it's like I went through, like, you know, I got out of the homeschool system. I went to art school, joined in with all the cool liberal kids for a while. And then dumb shit started happening. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want anything to do with this anymore. These people are nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And now something like this, I guess it's how people, I'm sorry, I just came off a 2.5 hour nap and I feel alive. But an event like this, it really is like a turning point where all of the fears, everything it's coming back around. People like me that were once part of this leftist movement, communism, whatever it is, this is the nail in the coffin. It's done. It is not cool anymore. And there are people who are going to sustain it, like people who say, oh yeah, Marvel movies, they haven't made a good one in a while, but they're still good. It's like, no, they're bad. They're all bad. They're made by corporate monsters. And this kind of thing it's the same thing. It's like you can repeat over and over again, well, isn't it great that like this guy's defending leftist ideals? Like, no, it's not. Actually, it's not. And it's really shocking to see where that's going to go, because the left did have its heart in the right place for a minute, and it still thinks it does while it is a monster.
Yes. You and I, just to be clear, we knew assholes, lots of them, in the Christian debate thing. All right.
Oh yeah.
And we met our share of jackasses in the left-wing college-educated thing. Mm-hmm. They're the same people in a lot of ways. The difference is the lefties, it's done something to their mind. It's no longer about politics. It's about blood, and you can see it in their eyes. And I mean, and we're going to go through a lot of it, and I avoided it. So, a lot of the clips I have of these people reacting to Charlie's murder, these are things I've heard people say to my face because they didn't know I opposed it.
Dude, we knew the pendulum was going to swing back hard.
Yes.
And, on my 2.5-hour drive to bumblefuck nowhere, Illinois, my fiance asked me, like, well, do you remember the Satanic Panic? I was like, yeah, I remember, my parents being a little freaked out about Satanism being in things, like they wouldn't let us watch Pokemon. At one point, we weren't allowed to watch Scooby-Doo because it had ghosts in it, fake ghosts, but weren't allowed to watch Harry Potter, all that stuff. And, it was like, it sounds silly, like when you think back on it, where it's like, oh, it's just a movie. But now that maybe it's because I'm in my 30s, I understand it now, because when you live in an insulated community and you're othering things that are different outside, whether or not, Harry Potter's actually satanic, it probably is, but whatever. You get to a point where the fuel for the fire, for what keeps a evangelical hullabaloo going, like we saw when we went to camps and stuff, where it was just like a rock concert fever dream where everybody had to be more extreme than the other. It's the same exact pattern with a different coat of paint on the left, and I knew it was going to get to this point, because that's what they do. They just go in this cycle. They build up until there is some kind of climax, and people in the audience start thinking, hold on a second, are we really doing this?
Yeah.
It's I mean, we have said it's literally a cult. It is literally a cult. Well, it's worse than a cult.
It's worse. And one of the main differences between what we experienced and what these people have at this point gone through, the majority of them, is body mutilation, body modification. Yeah. Like each of those things that you permanently do to your body, whether it's, trans stuff, or it's piercings, or ridiculous numbers of tattoos, or you shave your head. Like, the more you do these things to yourself, the more bought in you are. These are rituals.
It's a giant sunk cost fallacy.
Right. You can't back out once you've done permanent damage to your body. Like, your hair grows back. You can come back from something like that. If you really feel bad about tattoos, you can get them removed. But when it comes to cutting off, friends and family relationships that you can't recover, or cutting off literal parts of your body, at a certain point, you can't come back. That's the difference.
Well, that's where occultists like L. Ron Hubbard figured that out. You get them to buy in. And the good part about that is it filters out all the people who aren't serious.
Right. Right.
So that's where like we had that, I can't remember his name, the guy on about cults. He's 100% correct about how this works. It is a mind virus, but I think when you get to the core of it, no matter what coat of paint it is wearing, it's the devil himself.
Yes. Our interview was with Mac Moore, a cult expert who I found because he was talking about political cults in the modern day on Quora. And we have an interview with him. It's way back there, but you can find it. I reposted the link in the Telegram because I wasn't sure everybody knew it heard it yet. 100%. I don't know, like, for example, like, just to put this out there, I don't know Mac Moore's political leanings. He didn't know mine when he came on the show. I didn't really have that many. I was just interested in cults and cult think, and that's why I had him on. The point is, it doesn't matter if you're left or right. What matters is the structure of belief that these people get themselves into. And when you commit like that and you can't get out and you don't have and there's no such thing. So like the easy out for anyone getting into Christianity, for example, is that Jesus paid it all. No matter what you did, no matter where you came from, no matter your background, race, color, creed, gender identity, you name it, Jesus paid it all. That is the message of the Christian faith. You can come back. An atheistic, statist cult like this, there is no redemption outside of some level of physical action. And a murder-suicide is ultimately the only kind of redemption, that a materialistic, atheistic, this is all there is, Reddit, skeleton on a rock bullshit philosophy, the only redemption is a murder-suicide. We saw 3 of those. We've seen several of those over the last year. And in the case of the murder of Charlie Kirk, we still don't know. The suspect is still alleged. We have something like a confession. The news isn't out specifically on his story or why he did it or any of that stuff. We just have a face and in a flak jacket, right? Mm-hmm. But you see something really common there, which is that he was raised right wing by Republican Christians. And what happened? He went to college, and in under a couple of years, he was totally swung to the other side. Why? Because we're talking about spiritual qualities here, not political qualities. Zealotry, moral certitude, and arrogance. These are things that are bred in highly religious families. These people go off to a college, they learn that they were all wrong, and all they do is apply the techniques they learned growing up in defense of the faith to a statist, atheistic religion called Cryentology. That's where we're at.
Yeah. It is true though, because I did the exact thing. It was like my structure taught up was keep the faith. And when I went to college and the leftists started creeping in there, I was like, oh, this must be the right structure. So therefore I will apply the same tools to keep this faith. And I remember when we did street evangelism in high school, that was one question a question I wanted to ask people if they were atheists was like, well, why? Like, even if you're going to say that none of this is true, that all this Jesus stuff is fake, you don't really know what's going to happen in the afterlife anyway. So why wouldn't you bet on a faith of some kind? And I think right now, like, the faith of Cryentology is showing that it really has no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It has absolutely nothing for you except for the slow leaching of your soul and your eventual oblivion. Yes. And I'm sorry, you can make fun of like Jesus freaks all you want, but they got something far better than that. Well, even if a jerk like me wants to go in and be like, oh, that's illogical, blah blah blah. they still got it figured out better than these idiots. And I guess I didn't expect to get this fired up.
But that's why you're fired up, because you know this stuff. You left out a stage that we both went through before, going to the so-called other side. We both had long periods of time where we tormented ourselves to stay in the faith.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have to get into the details of that, but it's very true, because we didn't want to engage with the other side in any meaningful way. That's where dogmatism can get you. Like, we would learn apologetics, but we wouldn't learn to listen. We would learn to fight and argue, and we would learn Bible verses and quotes and things we could throw at atheists and all of that stuff, but we didn't learn to understand the core of what made them that way.
Right.
And if we have time to get to it, I will go through my tiers of, and that's TIERS, my tiers of dissent. How a person gets this way. I wrote it in 2020 because I was disturbed by maskies, and how freaking scary they were, because you could see behind those masks these eyes. The eyes. Do you remember the eyes? Those heaving, wheezing masks, and then those eyes just glaring at you from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it everywhere. I saw it in big cities, and I saw it in tiny towns. There were people who were so consumed by fear and anger and frustration and confusion that their eyes just went dark. And I'll never forget it.
It's total soul capture. And here's an observation I'm having right now. Like I said, I didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was until this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm this upset about it. Let that sink in. Imagine if you were a fan of his.
Yes, I know many.
I mean, dude, doxing people is a birthday party compared to what is coming.
Yes.
I don't want to believe it. I don't want to see it. I wish people could just talk it out, but apparently we cannot, because we are going to kill the people that want to talk it out. And that's the world we live in. And you know what? I'm going to take a step backwards. I learned this lesson to not get into this stuff, because the internet is the ultimate programming system, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
I learned this lesson during the console wars of the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. I remember being 12 years old and seeing people online be like, PlayStation 3 has no games. And then I get mad. And then eventually I was like, wait, this is a waste of energy. People are just going to be jerks on the internet, and that's the way it's going to be. And you know what? That was a valuable lesson, because I saw, with leftist ideology, when I was just like pretending to be a lefty because it was the cool thing to do. Well, I guess I was, but whatever. I started seeing people do the BLM stuff. I saw I had friends betray me. I got friggin' lectured multiple times about not doing enough or not supporting the cause or anything like that. And it was just like, you're literally just a part of the console wars. Grow up.
Yeah.
Grow up.
And say what you want about Mark Passio of What on Earth is Going On. He gets a lot of stuff right. I can't listen to him because he's too angry. But I understand why it pisses him off. And he did teach me the word thrall in this context. Where when you're talking about console wars and people losing their minds because someone said something negative about the box they have in their living room, that's a state of thrall. Mm-hmm. Your mind is a slave to something, and you're fighting to defend it, and it has nothing to do with you. You didn't design that Xbox. Why is your identity tied up in it? You just bought the system.
Right.
That's it. So,
but why do you have this crazy loyalty to a multi-billion-dollar brand? How has it convinced you that it is part of your identity?
Right. But that's the thing about leftism as it is right now, is it is not a political ideology. Leftists will tell you that it's just politics. It's not politics. We can tell it's not politics. You're not acting like a politician or a debater. You're acting like a freak and a murderer. And quite honestly, like when we go through this chain of clips I have, again, I avoided it because I knew what they were all going to say, because they've said it to me before in person. You're just lucky that they're stupid enough to put it on video. They've been saying this for a decade, at least. These people are full of rage and murder. It's in their mind all the time.
You'll listen to us. Like,
well,
we don't usually get angry.
Are you angry? I'm just serious.
Yeah, I don't feel like, I'm it's not the same kind of rage. It's just like, all right, we've let these people have the microphone for long enough. They've had their fun. It's come to its logical conclusion at last. And I'm sorry, now the grown-ups need to start to fix some things, because we can't let the students run the school anymore. Yeah. I'm sorry, your high school kid doesn't know what gender they are. They're confused, just like all of us were.
Yes.
Or most of all of us. I don't know. I mean, it's time for people to start doing stuff, and it's gonna be like boring, slow, calculated action. It's not gonna be screeching and flailing around and causing stopping traffic. I'm sorry, like that doesn't fix a single thing. Neither does protesting. So the action that we're going to have to take is what they told us at those Christian camps years ago. We need to get you into the halls of leadership. If you want things to change, you need to pass bill after bill after bill and do all the boring debate, all the logistics, all that crap if you really want things to change. It's not running around virtue signaling on the internet.
Right.
It's the work that the adults have to do that need to be mature enough to do it. And the left is not populated by people like that. It's populated by children, worse than children, slaves.
Yes. Well, what I cannot and will not tolerate anymore is that the left and the right are equal and that they both do bad things. Don't care. There is one side that is behaving like a death cult, and there is one side that has tried to kill the president and just killed Charlie Kirk. And it's just two crazy people. They shot up a Catholic school less than 2 weeks ago. They killed children. They all write manifestos. We've all seen it. They all
write things on bullets for some reason.
They leapt to the defense of the man who stabbed that Ukrainian girl in the neck on the train. We've watched it. They are the enemy. And I don't mean that like, oh, let's get crazy. I don't know how else you can see it at this point. It is not a left-right paradigm anymore. It can't be.
It's not politics anymore. It's good versus evil.
Left-right is...
It's society versus anti-society.
Yes. It's society versus spiritual entropy. That's what it is. Left-right paradigm, Democrat, Republican. Do you remember, like, when we were kids, we had Democrats in our neighborhood, and guess what? We had dinner with them. We would go watch TV with them. We would visit them, like when their friends passed away and that sort of thing. And we'd still disagree about who was the president all the time. The other side is whatever it is no longer that. I don't know where it happened along the line, but somewhere along the line, they allied with themselves, whether through ignorance or generally just like tolerance. They've allied themselves with bloodthirsty maniacs who are using their party and their empathy as a skin suit to enact their moral rage on the world and everyone else. And the more innocent the target, the better. And that's why I was after Joel Webbin a couple episodes ago when I said he doesn't understand evil at all. He said, they killed children because the devil knows who's going to be the biggest enemy. Christian children, he said. And it's like, you don't understand evil. They kill Christian children because they're the most savory morsels. That's what happened. Get your head out of your ass. That's what's happening. So, anyway.
We should probably get started.
We should proceed. In fact, I have a couple of clips that have nothing to do with this because I'd like to just break it up a little bit, and then we'll get back into that stuff.
Please,
these are not...
Tell me you have at least just a little bit of truth just for me.
I don't even remember. I have this clip, though, of Don Lemon talking to the residents of New York City.
Oh, I love lemons.
This was in the before times, sometime last week, before, his people had murdered somebody.
How you doing, sir? Good. Can we talk to you? Where are you from? You live in New York?
Who are you?
Don Lemon.
You're a fucking moron, dude.
Thank you. So are you.
Yeah, that's very nice of you to say.
Nice to say.
Except you've never heard anything I've had to say, and I've heard a whole bunch of what you've
I'm glad you watched me.
No, I don't.
Why?
But you just get clipped everywhere.
I know, but why don't you? You said you don't watch me, but yet you know who I am, and I get clipped.
Before I realized that CNN and MSNBC were full of shit, every once in a while I'd see
What do you watch?
talking. I watch all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, but why do you say CNN and MSNBC are full of shit?
Because they lie.
But about what? Be
Everything.
specific. What's everything?
Everything.
That was the before times when we just thought they were lying. We didn't.
Sorry.
Well, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, that guy's really composed. Like, you just show up on the street. Oh, it's Don Lemon, and he's fully prepared to tell him exactly what he thinks.
Yes. Which is great. I think if Don Lemon approached me, I'd be like a bit like, oh, I don't want to be mean to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be nice. Like, probably just like, oh, yes, of course we disagree. Maybe not now, but on September 7th, when I found this clip, I might have been like, oh, I don't watch your show, and I think you guys are twisting the truth and that sort of thing, or you're inaccurate, and a lot of your staff writers are activists and that sort of thing. Now I would say you're a hostile. That's what you are. Things have changed a lot in a week. Now that we've discussed that Joseph McCarthy was absolutely right about everything, and we should be building statues of him in every city in this country, the American dream itself is at stake. Which is to say that it's not our only problem that we have a press that wants to kill us. We have it turns out that the entire country's been sold out in more ways than one, and all we're doing is just walking amidst the ruins. And it's funny because like young people are like, they've just kind of given up on ever owning a house. Like, yeah, normal people who like work normal jobs, say they don't have degrees or they just got some level of training, they've just given up on it. But we're living in two different worlds, and that's why I picked this clip out.
Let me just try to explain the wealth of Malibu as a fellow East Coaster. Just talk to these guys over here, just living on a slice of fucking heaven, okay? Just moved in, making small talk. I was like, you move here for work, pleasure? He goes, no, we actually got a daughter. She goes to Pepperdine, and we're just visiting her. We got sick and tired of staying in all these hotels every time we visit her. So we just bought this place, casually, on a drizzly Tuesday. Oh. I was like, oh, sir, yeah, I get you. As if I have any fucking clue what that's like or relate to that at all. He's actually a pretty nice guy, too. You never know if you met him randomly that he just owns a property worth more than Iceland's whole economy. I was like, is it good?
I mean, it's true.
It's true. Boomers are like, oh, we just bought the thing. Many of them.
Say wealthy people. You get used to it.
They get used to it. It's absolutely crazy. But speaking of this, there was actually an amazing clip of Tim Dillon. There's a lot of reasons to laugh at this visually that we will have to simply describe.
Is that a tower of bagels?
Yes, he's got 2 towers of bagels on his desk here.
Oh, God.
I can't imagine what that's all about. And he has a religious headdress on of some kind. Is that Catholic?
It looks like, a combination of like a Catholic priest and a rabbi.
It's definitely a rabbi costume.
Okay.
Because you see the locks on the side.
Oh,
they're kind of shyly hidden away, as you can see.
Anyway, I think he's just a double Padawan.
Yes.
Young people are realizing they're being propagandized at a level that older people gladly accepted. It was normal. It was fine. Older people were okay with being propagandized as long as they got a few things out of it. The young people are getting nothing out of it. Wait, you're lying to us and I can't own a house? I can barely have a job? I have to be forced into the gig economy? I get to deliver burritos? And I have to listen to this bullshit? And I have to pretend that this is all real? And I can't afford frozen yogurt with my girlfriend? And I have to go along with this horse shit? And I have nothing and no money for it? If you're doing something, you want to get something out of it. If you are going to delude yourself and believe the bullshit on the news, you have to get a little bit out of it. And what Americans got for many years was a patch of dirt, a little driveway, and a chance. They don't have any of that anymore. We've taken that all away from them. We've pushed them into a gig economy. We've pushed them into the hellscape of rent that goes up every single year. And the propaganda is actually getting worse. It's getting more disconnected from reality, more Orwellian. We're asking them to believe crazier and crazier things and taking away the little bit that most people had. People don't want to be billionaires. People want a house, a family, a little retirement plan, some money in the bank if there's an emergency. They want health care. They want some kind of steady job. They want a community with people that share their values. They're getting none of that right now. They're getting none of that. They're getting Kris Jenner's third head. Kris Jenner has a third head. And everybody's excited by it. People will tell you, the people that don't have any of those things will tell you that they like Kris Jenner's new head. Or they're excited that Taylor Swift, a billionaire, is going to marry Travis Kelce, the man who was birthed by Pfizer. And people have to live vicariously now through that. Why are the kids turning on the engines of propaganda? Number one, they're too smart. The technology is there. They know they're being lied to. Here's number two. You're taking all of the things away from them that this entire system was supposedly, purportedly set up to help them achieve. So if I'm a member of the ruling class, I'm going, what are we doing here? What exactly is happening? We're asking these people to believe this bullshit that Jeffrey Epstein is just like a weirdo rich guy. No one else did anything wrong. We don't have any of the files and the videos aren't real. It's actually nothing. Nothing happened. Everything's fine. He never had any relationship with our intelligence agency or another intelligence agency. He had no relationships with anybody. Nobody did anything. He was just a weird rich guy. Don't worry about it.
And again, this clip comes from the before times.
I really wonder how it's going to change in the current times.
Well, what he's saying here is nobody's listening to the press anymore. Well, now, not only are we not listening to the press, we see that they're a hostile force. But clearly, I mean, it's like I've known this for years, right? I've tried to communicate it on this show best I can. Most of our listeners know it's a hostile force. I don't think most people had registered, including myself, how hostile it was.
Well, and also they're getting incredibly obvious with who they're defending from us. And it's, you do wonder, like, oh, what can we do about it? It's like, I don't know. The internet has given us some kind of control over, but I mean, even that's like, obviously compromised because you got millions of bots and billions of bots and all that. But yeah, it is true. It's like when you start to get so freaking greedy, you can't let people have a patch of dirt while you have the funds to buy out an entire town or county to build a data center. Like what is the ultimate goal here? They don't want you around because you cost too much.
I think it's a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I would say that there is some hostility to this. Like there's definitely a gang that we've discussed that really just hates us. I think also there's probably an even larger gang that is greedy and doesn't care about us. Like we're little goldfish in a very big sea right now. And we haven't found Nemo yet. All All right, let's carry on. So the other disaster that I was losing sleep over was, of course, the stabbing of that Ukrainian girl, as I have said. What was her name? I can't remember her name.
Arena something.
Yeah, Arena, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure Matt Walsh, Mr. Butt Statue himself, says it in this video. But this is, again, in the before times. We were all upset about this. Before Charlie Kirk got shot before our very eyes. Let's take a listen.
Narrative we hear from the media is exactly what you would expect. They are infinitely more outraged at the alleged racially charged language of conservative pundits than they are at the actual butchery of an innocent woman by...
Did you hear that? Did you catch that? Before times. They're more enraged by the commentators than they are by an actual girl getting killed.
They are infinitely more outraged at the alleged racially charged language of conservative pundits than they are at the actual butchery of an innocent woman by a 14-time career felon on public transportation. They are not angry that this woman was killed. I mean, they couldn't care less. They wouldn't even be talking about it if they had their way. Instead, they're outraged by the racism, quote unquote, of conservatives who have noticed that the murders are happening. And then we hear from Van Jones that, you know, we can't say for sure whether that black criminal killed Irina because she was white. Can't say that for sure. So just to review, the media can say for sure that it's racist to say mean things about a black guy who killed a white woman, but they can't say for sure that it's racist for a black guy to actually kill a white woman. So the murder is not...
Yes?
That's just, I mean, it's... Our priorities are so screwed up.
Yes. The narrative is more important than human life.
Least.
Yeah.
To say the least. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
Because what conservatives are attacking that lefties live in is their entire world, which exists in their head.
They're attacking their favorite video game console, Aaron.
Yes.
This is the console wars.
Yes, it's true. It's so amazing that so many lefties are tied up in like witchcraft and Gnosticism and demon worship, and they just hate people who might break them out of the matrix or might break their matrix. They're a little like, speaking of the matrix, they're a little like those people who like turn on you all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Zombie hordes.
Yeah, and I know they'd say, oh, well, you don't see that you're being controlled by Christianity. It's like you're going to be controlled by something. Empty vessels invite in control from minds that don't have bodies. It used to be called demon possession. Now it's called politics. So, yeah, I was losing sleep already about the stabbing because I wasn't sure, one, how I was going to cover it, and two, what to even say, because I was beginning to finally, at all levels, not just my conscious, like educated level of understanding that the media is an enemy, I started to understand from top to bottom of my total human awareness that they are an enemy because of the killing of Irina on that subway, because of the way that they were dealing with this. Everyone was beginning to feel this. And then it just got worse. But it wasn't enough. So we were exposed to three things. One, defending the shooter at the Catholic Church, or the Catholic school. Two, ignoring the actions of this outright murderer because it affected their narrative. And then finally, the death of Charlie Kirk, or the murder of Charlie Kirk, which they approved of openly, repeatedly, all of them. Smiling. This cannot be ignored.
I'm guessing that you have some clips of people celebrating this, right?
Oh, what, you see the machine gun belt eclipse at the top here?
Yes, I am terrified.
That's most of them. And I'm putting you through something else so we don't just do that for the entire show, because there's so many. All right, let's listen to a little bit more Matt Walsh, and then we'll get that direction a little more.
Racist necessarily, but the commentary about the murder, well, that is racist. That's what these despicable snakes are actually claiming. Keep in mind, this is coming from this is coming from all the same people who declared from the first moment that the George Floyd footage went viral that it was a racist hate crime. There was nothing in that video, if you recall, not a single thing that
The murder of Charlie Kirk gave people no more excuses to act bewildered about this. You hear the tone that Walsh is using here, like, can you believe how hypocritical they are? They're not hypocritical. It's intentional. They want us all dead. For various reasons. You don't even need a big conspiracy to understand why these people want you dead. You just need to understand basic human motivation.
You know, it I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of true crime, but in a lot of cases, like crimes of passion, rage, you know, crimes like not fully premeditated, but like, oh wow, I can't believe I just did that. I just, you know, shot somebody or whatever. You know, it's like, that's the thing is I was listening to true crime on my 2.5 hour drive for like once in a blue moon, and it follows the same pattern.
What's that?
They talk about it forever. They say things like, oh, I wish they were dead, or if they got shot, I wouldn't mind, or, you know, whatever. It's like, and then it actually happens. It's like, oh, it can actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's the thing about like these premeditated screeds that we've been listening to forever. Where it's like, punch a Nazi day, ha ha ha. It's like, yeah, have you punched any? I bet if the guy next to you punched a Nazi, you'd be like, woohoo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's like somebody has to go over the line,
and
then all hell breaks loose.
Yes,
because it's allowed.
Right. The moment it's said, the moment somebody comes along and says it's open season on the people that you hate, they'll go hog wild.
Mm-hmm. We will see if that happens.
At the trajectory we're headed right now, I think they may try, but times are different. This isn't the Pale of the Settlement in, you know, frickin' the pre-Soviet Union. Like, you can't just get away with this stuff as easily. So we'll see. It may be that we can actually put this thing down because hopefully people will learn, but here's the deal. As much as I've learned, again, it still didn't register with, like I said, my entire awareness that this is an enemy until this week, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous, because cognitively, I've known it for 10 years.
I guess a perfect example of that crap I was just trying to say is riots. You know, It'll be mostly peaceful protests, right? A bunch of people standing around holding signs, and then somebody throws a rock. And it's like, oh, we can all throw rocks now.
Right. And if you resist, you're Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah. I think the backlash to this is going to be like that guy on Helm's Deep who accidentally fires the first arrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right. Let's
Christ,
keep going.
There's a picture. Just that one Uruk-hai falling over, and then every one of them just starts banging their pikes and charging at the wall. Oh my God. You're right. All right, let's do a little bit more Matt Walsh, and then we'll get into the shit wins.
Same people who declared from the first moment that the George Floyd footage went viral that it was a racist hate crime. There was nothing in that video, if you recall, not a single thing that indicated any kind of racial motivation whatsoever. And yet, when a black suspect ODs while being detained by a white cop, it's a racist killing. Automatically, it's a racist killing. When a black criminal slaughters a white woman on the train, it's a mental health episode. This is what these soulless goblins expect us to believe. Hey, Van, listen, here's what we know, okay? Here's what we know. Statistically, a white person is 30 times more likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. We know that. That's just true. In 2019, there were about 560,000 violent interracial incidents between blacks and whites. 470,000 of them were black on white. That's 85%. 85%. 240 black people were killed by...
No, but they're justified, Aaron, because
Yes.
they were oppressed.
Right. Yes. And we've
You
been
know.
programmed for this with this for years. That the so-called resistance is going to be ugly, apparently criminal, underground, anti-civilizational hippies. Do you ever play Detroit Become Human?
No, but I want to.
Okay, it's a very, very interesting game, and I haven't finished it. And I know it's propaganda. They put the robots on the back of the bus, literally, in that game.
Oh, maybe I don't want to play this.
It's a little bit on the nose. Now, it's a little bit. I'm joking. It's a lot on the nose. Okay. But then you see the resistance in the game, and I'm about just past that section, and they're underground. They're dirty. They look like criminals. They talk like criminals. And it's not enough that they want their freedom. They also have to get their revenge.
Yeah.
We have been systematically trained to assume that those people are the good guys. We've been systematically trained to sympathize with usurpers and murderers. And to say, yes, well, it's understandable because of rage, of past crimes, that sort of thing. And all of us have spent the last 15, 20, 30 years, maybe 40 years, but especially the last 15, 20 years with the full-blown propaganda assault, handing them the mic and saying, tell me. And all that came back was just hatred.
Yeah, I mean, this is not Robin Hood, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy because it's like these people who are convinced that they're like, oh, fighting the power. It's like, no, you're like bought and paid for by George Soros.
Yes.
Like literally.
Yes. You're funded by the government. I mean, I don't know, like, that's not even a conspiracy. That's just the truth. But that's where we're at, and it's like you find yourself agreeing with all the most hated heads of state all the time. They just happen to be saying, "Oy oy oy." I'm gonna skip this one. This one's not relevant. You'd like it, but it's not what we're talking about. Do you want to get into it and move into the now times, or would you like to watch a little more from the before times when we were having honest conversations about what happened on that train?
No, I think we should move ahead here.
All right. Cool. You like this guy?
Oh God, I was about to say let's bite the bullet, but
he ate the bullets.
God. Okay.
This is J.B. Pritzker. He ate every bullet in the armory. If you put him near a fireplace, he'll just start popping like a Rice Krispie treat.
I do not like that image in my head.
Oh, what? Just like him slowly expanding, like one of those
just
you know those
stop.
pans that you get for like camping, and they've got popcorn in them, and you put them over the fire, and they like expand.
Oh.
For the millennials in the audience, it's just like that scene with Aunt Marge, where she blows up like a balloon and floats away.
Oh right.
This is what Pritzker had to say about Charlie Kirk being murdered.
My sympathy to Charlie Kirk's family and to Charlie Kirk, who obviously has, become a target for somebody. I don't know whether it's political violence because I don't know who did it. I know they seem to have somebody in custody. But I will say that political violence, unfortunately, has been ratcheting up in this country. We saw the shootings, the killings in Minnesota. We've seen other political violence occur in other states, and
like the president getting shot.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
Forget that little detail.
I'm surprised he even admitted that the shooting in Minneapolis was political. That had to be a misstatement.
Let him go.
In other states. And I would just say it's got to stop. And I think there are people who are fomenting it in this country. I think the president's rhetoric often foments it.
Wait, dude, no. He had me in the first half, not going to lie.
It's the president. It's Trump's fault. He made them mad so they can murder people.
Dude.
You see. This is one common line that we've seen a lot, and we'll continue to see it, is like he said the words you're not supposed to say, so he had to die. And his friends said words that you're not supposed to say, so, it's his fault.
I really wonder what... I know I've learned a little bit about social media and other countries that, China, it's like it's censored as all get out and, it's monitoring you and all this stuff, but is the programming suicidal like it is over here? Because it seems like all the major programming in this country wants us to kill ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like one way or another, delete your ability to reproduce, go on mass shootings, get mad, sell your soul to X because you're so mad you can't look elsewhere because the console wars are too important.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder what it would be like to use social media in a country that wasn't trying to eat itself.
That wasn't occupied by a hostile force?
Yes.
I mean, you and I have only grown up in this, right? We've experienced this our whole lives. We've only known what it's like to be ruled by people who would rather us be dead. Like, very little makes sense in this country as long as you're assuming, as Matt Walsh did in the before times, that these were just hypocrites.
Yeah.
And as long as we act bewildered that these people continue to advocate for things that end in our destruction. This is not an equal situation. This is not a situation where it's the left and the right and they disagree with each other, but they can still watch TV together and have dinner. There is an occupying force in this country that has revealed itself pretty thoroughly. We only know what it's like to live under that. I mean, some boomers in the before times being, the previous century, know what it's like to have a government that at least pretends to want to do good by you. Know what it's like to have a media that at least has to pretend that it's okay with you. All we know is open hostility, piracy, corruption, theft, and murder. That's what we know. If it was gone tomorrow, I guarantee every single American would feel 100-pound weight lifted from their heart. And we wouldn't be able to articulate why. And we'd be openly suspicious, because we're all conspiratorial now, about anyone trying to do us good. Because it's all we know. We are the beaten housewife of the world, the American people. And we're gaslit all the time. Like, Sheriff of Nottingham was frickin' Ronald McDonald compared to this shit. And the worst part is we have people who advocate for them, who live among us, who are of our race and our class. People who have even our religion, who advocate for this occupying hostile force. They wear many masks. But if somebody comes to you and says it'd be better if you were dead, or suggests anything like that in any way, it doesn't matter what mask they're wearing, that person is an enemy. Full stop. If they blame you for violence that is committed against you and people like you, that person is an enemy. Full stop. It's very simple. And I think this week a lot of people realize that, myself included. It's not, oh, they just have bad ideas. Oh, they're just dumb. It's not dumb liberals. Yeah, there's dumb liberals who go along with it. Sure. But the animating power behind this thing hates us and wants us gone. All right. So shall we carry on and let Pritzker finish his words?
Yeah.
We've seen the January 6th.
How dare you walk through the halls of your congressional building and demand honesty in your elections?
Let's see if we can make it worse.
Rioters who clearly, have tripped a new era of political violence.
So this all began on January 6th, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Some Republican Congress members try to have a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk this week, and this is how that ended.
The chair would ask that all members present in the chamber and those in the gallery please rise for a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk and his family.
I can't hear a thing.
I can't either.
Hang on.
The House will be in order.
Shh. Shh. They need crowd mics like at a concert, so you can hear them singing. I don't see it, but I guess
it didn't last a full minute.
The House will be in order.
I guess they are yelling. I can't hear them though. Who knows? Who knows why they were yelling, right? Like, I get it. Charlie Kirk's a political figure. I understand why you'd object to that. But hang on a second. I'm not giving you the time of day because your people cheered on the murder of a man who liked to talk to college students this week. Sorry, I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt anymore. Every action that they take cannot be given any quarter.
You can't even take a moment of silence to honor a human life, regardless of where it's from. You got a problem.
I wouldn't be surprised if the reason they objected was because a moment of prayer was said.
Yeah, well.
Because all the funniest thing I saw this week from the so-called or not the so-called, but the more tolerant categories of lefties who were just like not celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk were saying, "My thoughts are with Charlie Kirk and his family."
That's a new one.
I hadn't seen that one. It wasn't thoughts and prayers. It was my thoughts are with. I've never heard that before. I mean,
thanks science for that one.
Thanks science. It's funny because I guess I didn't expect the cringe atheists to make it this far. Like, prayer is considered like a nice thing to do, right? And like years ago, it was like, well, I don't believe in prayer, so you can think of me, but I no prayers, please. But now it's like they object completely to people saying, I'll pray for you.
Yeah, it's a microaggression, Aaron.
Well, I mean, I just have to wonder if they object to any form of prayer because it's not in praise of their god Satan. Are you ready to get into this? Because we've got our first.
This looks like a conspiracy theorist.
Should we do donations first? Because we are at an hour.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Open up your heart and open up the first. Does not the main. Well, that's just the worst. Oh, yes, it is.
So broke.
Okay. Let's get to it. At the top of... What's that?
Did you take our dear old dad to Cracker Barrel?
Not yet, no. But we will go. First off, of course, we have Tom from Texas. He sends 1110. And he says, 555 times 2. Get your boys some hot and ready or donate it to your dad's Cracker Barrel fund. We're all Charlie now. Roger, Roger. Roger, Roger. I'm going to put it toward the Cracker Barrel fund because that man is hungry. Hungrier than us. I talked to him this week and he's like, I'm semi-retired, so if you want to go to breakfast sometime, I'm like, yep, we're going to go. We got to go. What button should we play for Tom here? I don't feel like the 555 is quite enough since you gave
well, you need to at least give him the Roger, Roger.
Oh, right, of course. Hang on.
We're independent thinkers. Roger, 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 roger.
How about one more just for me?
On the internet.
I like that one. Yeah. Is that good? Should we carry on?
I don't remember what other buttons you have on your board there.
Okay. How about I just pick one more just for Tom?
Okay.
There you go.
I love that one. I don't know what that's from.
It's Biden.
That's Biden?
That's Biden.
Soda!
What? He was saying Minnesota, but somebody cut it off. It's soda.
I always heard it as just like something from like a 90s commercial.
Oh.
Advertising soda. That was just how it registered in my mind.
It's Biden shouting Minnesota with the mini cut off.
He sounds like a young man in that clip.
Mega soda. Next up, we have Scott from Tasmania. He sends $11 and he says, "Hi guys, the entire island of Tasmania is still celebrating my climbing of the tower and finishing the Talos Principle." Well, there you go. I did search for the thing in the Egyptian level with the sun low in the sky, but I did not find it. Anyway, now on to part 2. Well,
you weren't just trolling him, were you?
No, I wasn't trolling him. There is a secret in that level. It's a little hard to find. Not impossible, but I guess I could have given better directions, but I didn't want to spoil it, you know? Does that make me a dork or a jerk or whatever?
No, I didn't know if you made it up whole cloth just to make him run around in the desert for 2 hours.
It's real. It's real. Do you want me to tell you what it is?
No, he can look it up.
Okay, but
we don't want you to spoil it for anybody else.
Everybody else might be wondering. Okay,
the floor is yours, Aaron.
Whatever. Let's go on. Let's carry on. I just forget it.
He says on to part 2. So
yes,
you didn't like part 2, did you?
Listen, part 2 is a lot to play. When I was in the early throes of the panic problem, because it coincided with my research on Gnosticism that ultimately culminated in the Gnostic series. And Talos Principle Part 2 is like unbelievably Gnostic. The first one is too, but the second one, like the first 30 minutes, I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to fall into the demiurge itself. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Scott, I can't speak to how good it is. I know Adam can, though.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's a little cringe in places, but
yeah, for sure.
Otherwise, the world building's really good. The puzzles are just as good as the first one, if not better. Yeah, I really liked it. I don't think I finished it, actually. I think it got too hard for me, or it was just too many puzzles, and I gave up.
Well, speaking of it being a little cringe, that is one thing I remember is that the dialogue was very Reddit. In a lot of places, it's this, oh, the wonders of science. Oh, wow, I'm so confused and baffled by this deep thing that I read about on Reddit. Like,
It is, yeah, I guess it is. Like, if I'd have played it when I was in college, I'd have been like, this is the most brilliant game I've ever played.
Yes.
This one I had to
exactly
let my eyes glaze over a little bit because there's parts of it that are really good, but there's a lot of stuff that's just kind of like, oh.
Yep.
Still doing this?
I'm sorry, Scott was talking. Next up, we have Bros. He sends in 9/11, which is epic because 9/11 was this week. And he requests 2 buttons, and I can't believe I still don't have this one on the board. I'm being lazy with the board, to be quite honest. There's a couple of them that need to go on there, and I just haven't put them on there, but they'll get there. He requests Mr. Peanut is here in a Hobbit rift. A Hobbit riff. My mistake.
Mr. Peanut is here!
There you go. Those go together well.
Yeah.
All right. And last but not least, we have Whole Milk Enjoyer, still broke from school.
Aw.
He sent 77 cents. He says, for Charlie, not because he was moderate, but because he was a father and husband and believed in himself. Godspeed. Godspeed. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, well said.
Yep, well said. And now that we've gone through all of this, we've been putting off the inevitable. Are you ready to delve into the circles of hell?
You know what? I'll never be ready, so let's just dive right in.
And we never grow up, especially Charlie Kirk. What the fuck is up, everybody? Welcome to the universe's finest one-man show. Let's do this, motherfucker. It's the Dusty Show, and I don't know, for some reason, I'm in a good mood today. It's almost like evil has been removed slightly from the world. I don't know why. Maybe we'll figure that out as the show goes on. How the fuck are you guys doing? Are you guys as happy as a little girl? I know in the audience, I have a lot of people hate watching me. A lot of Charlie Kirk fans out there. Boo-hoo, cry harder, bitches. We drink all your tears down. Hey, being a giant fucking piece of shit's dangerous. What are you going to say? Before I start the show, let me just start off with that, folks. I don't like it when people get murdered, right? But like,
demon possession is real.
Yeah. He doesn't like it when people get murdered, but
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see this guy in like The Conjuring or something. The most cringe demon.
Yeah. You know this man, it's called
It's
the
like
Dusty
crashing
Show.
around in a bed with belts holding him down.
Yeah, it's called the Dusty Show. He's got 221,000 subscribers on YouTube, which means he makes enough money to support himself with this.
Do you think it would be better to be a bot or a retard?
I don't know. You know, it's like sometimes I think about, like, if we did this on YouTube or Rumble or whatever, and we really, really sold out, we could certainly make more money. We would definitely make more money. If I decided to put my face on camera, we would definitely make more money than this guy. Because
I'm just picturing you with his act where he's like swinging around in his chair and like grabbing the mic. I can't imagine you doing that, much less me.
Wait, you don't want to hear me talk like this guy?
I wish that Charlie Kirk would have picked a better life path for himself, to be honest.
I wish that you weren't cringe.
What a clown.
I can't even do it. I can't do it, man. He's got me beat. His skills are crazy. He's not even pointing the microphone in the right direction, by the way. It's a directional microphone, and he's got it pointing straight up, which means that he has 221,000 people watching him misuse this microphone. And what's crazy is it's the microphone, right? It's the one I have. But everybody uses it right except for Dusty. It doesn't matter who you watch. They all point it at their face.
The way he was manhandling it at the beginning tells me a few things. God, who watches this stuff? Like, even on its like most basic level, it's like it took him a full minute to say almost nothing.
Well, yeah. He appears to be Gen X. He has superimposed himself over an AI image of a hippie van. And he hasn't even framed his camera well enough that he isn't cutting off his own arm when he's reaching out to the sides while emoting all this. How would you rate this on the evil level so far?
Probably a 8 out of 10.
What drug do you think this man is addicted to? Is it alcohol or weed?
Definitely cannabis.
Okay.
And maybe amphetamines.
Okay.
And probably SSRIs.
Yeah. And do you think he's the kind of guy who wears like basketball shorts around the house all day? And unironically wears Crocs? Because that's what he looks like to me. Should we listen to a little more? Should we listen to a little more Dusty?
Yeah, let him go.
That's with you. It's the same way I felt about those two people that worked at the Israeli embassy that got killed. When you work for a terrorist organization that murders children. When it's all filmed, we all see it every single day, and you gleefully keep working for a terrorist organization that covers up the murder and genocide of people. Sometimes other people want to kill you for that, right? Some people sometimes are like, blammo in the head. No, not me.
Oh, stop it. Jesus.
What?
Oh. Just that cadence he had there, just that was too much.
What, people are like, blammo in the head.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
How do you do, fellow kids?
This sucks.
Yeah, this is garbage.
All right. Well, at least that one was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Let's carry on. Here's a TikTok dancer. This is the prettiest POS 666 on TikTok.
Wow.
Yeah. We saw a lot of these.
I guess if you're that, own it, right?
Yep.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. To everyone saying that it was such a senseless, violent act, I want you to remind yourself that it was God's plan. I mean, really, it was actually his fault because, like, he should have been wearing, like, a bulletproof neck brace or something. Like, I cannot believe he walked out the house without it. I mean, really, you have to be aware of what you're wearing in public so that, like, people don't target you and you don't become a victim. So I guess this is just another example of God's plan in action. It was not a senseless act of violence. This was God's plan. Happy hump day, y'all.
You're 30. You're 30, and the years aren't coming back, and the time is running out for you, madam.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about the little kid in The Sixth Sense. I see dead people. And sometimes they don't even realize they're dead.
I like the little jab at of feminist theory here. That's how you can tell she's 30. It's not just the fact that she looks every bit of it. It's the fact that she yanked out this old-fashioned feminist bullshit that you and I had to deal with in college all the time.
But look at her eyes. Take your thumb and cover up everything below her eyes.
Oh yeah, she's got them. She's got the masky eyes.
The COVID eyes.
Yep, black eyes. Jesus. It's interesting. I want to play that little bit of feminist shit there real quick.
Then, I cannot believe he walked out the house without it. I mean, really, you have to be aware of what you're wearing in public so that, people don't target you.
These people called for Barabbas. Just saying.
That is apt.
Yeah, that's what's happening here.
That story in the Bible, I just always was like, that. How could they be so stupid? And it's like they're not so stupid. They're so possessed.
You know, as a person who has struggled with faith for a really long time, seeing evil brings perspective to the story of Jesus Christ in a way that I can't even believe sometimes.
Yep.
Okay, you don't even have to believe in the story. Understand what Christians believe, which is that when he was on that cross, he saw all of these people doing this stuff, and he still went through with it. And these people called for Barabbas instead of him.
Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
Right. Charlie Kirk is not Jesus. Don't get me confused here. But that's what I'm saying is according to the story, the Son of Man looked down through time and saw the masky eyes from thousands of years away. And he still loves them. He's better than me. That's all I'll say, and that's why he's Jesus. Shall we go on?
Yeah, I feel like we could do worse than that.
All right, let's crank it up a touch. Here we go.
Yo, they got Charlie Kirk, bro. I've never been happier.
Never believe the reason I'm smiling. And it has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. Nothing to do with Charlie Kirk.
I would say pour one out for Kirky boy, but I don't waste good beer on little bitches.
I haven't posted on TikTok in a long time, but I'm gonna now because rest in peace, Bozo!
Charlie Kirk just got put down like a fucking dog in Utah, and I could not be happier. Praise fucking be.
I do not, and I will not, ever feel bad when bad people get what the fuck they deserve.
Eyes,
Yep.
Eyes?
Glasses.
Yeah, well, she keeps putting the camera right up in her face so you can see those bottle caps right up there in the microscope.
Imagine that's like your hobby is lying in bed in a spaghetti strap and shoving a phone in your face and saying this kind of shit.
This one's 35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk got shot? That's awful. That's so sad. Hope he recovers well.
I just heard that someone shot Charlie Kirk.
What? Wait, hold on. Pause it.
Yeah?
What is that on her nose? Is that
It's
like a
a
reverse nose ring?
Yes. See, she's fighting the power by being a cow backwards.
Dude. She's got the colored hair split right down the middle.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen a reverse nose ring like that.
Look at those crow's feet. You see those?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying 30 again. I'm noticing something here.
I see dead people.
I see dead people, but I also see millennials a lot. And her dad did this to her by allowing his wife to name her Scout.
Dang it. Shucks. Thoughts and prayers.
It's that oopsie attitude that really gets me.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Very cringe. You're gonna have to do better than this because the people you're pissing off are going to put you in the crystal, and that's the moderate position. This is the president of Barrington Teachers Union High School. He's a high school teacher in social studies. Barrington. That's right next door to Arlington Heights.
Okay.
So we used to work there, actually.
Yeah.
Never live in a society when you have an armed.
So he starts his clip with a very, very quiet clip of Charlie talking, which he, of course, doesn't play in its full context.
Will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death.
I have about as much sympathy for Charlie Kirk right now as I do for all those farmers across the country who want socialist handouts from the government right now. This is a man who hated the LGBTQ community, who hated women's rights, who hated democracy, who thought that he was a big man because he went to college campuses and debated young college students and thought he proved how tough he was with his words that he studied ahead of time. What a piece of garbage. This is what happens. I'm curious if we're going to want to take guns away now from who will inevitably be the white man who shot and killed him.
But he wasn't wrong about that.
That's the worst one I've heard yet.
This is the worst one?
Yeah. I know it's going to get worse, but I started watching that and I was like, if you have anything to do with education and you're on social media, you should be fired. And then by the end of that, like this guy's like taking credit for it almost.
Yeah.
Like he's like, yeah, you see what happens?
Yeah.
It's like
several things. He's old.
He has a nice house.
He has a mid-size. Well, I guess it's pretty nice.
I mean, compared to what young people can get, it's a freaking mansion.
Yeah, it's true. It has, a staircase with a banister and 2 floors and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Has a kitchen.
He has a pedophile mustache. He's wearing 2 necklaces. And he's just walking around in this empty coffin that is his home. And he has the eyes, as you can see.
God.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a 40-something-year-old man that is acting like he's in high school.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense that he's president of the teachers union, high school, whatever.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, it's going to bring you some relief to know that this is one of the men who was fired. You heard about that,
dude,
of course.
If he was talking about the console wars like this, I would fire him because you're an idiot.
At the time of this recording, we are reaching over 800 people who have been confirmed to have been fired for the reaction to Charlie Kirk's death.
Oh, Gestapo's coming, Aaron.
Thank you, brave patriots, for bringing us a little bit of relief. I was going to include the actual board meeting where he was let go and it was announced, but it was too quiet. But this guy was indeed fired.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's, again, like I've seen that happen in corporations where people will go on these tirades and they'll get fired for it. And it doesn't even have to be like a politically charged time. It's like, it's bad for business to be embarrassing yourself and projecting not just your politics, but that image on the company at large. I know this was, education's different slightly, I guess, but like companies should be perfectly comfortable firing people like this. Even if like conservative, left wing, right wing, whatever, if you're doing this, you're a liability and you need to go.
You're dangerous.
At the very least, to the company's image.
Of course, at the very least, your customers. At the very least. But also, now that everyone knows you're literally a demon and an enemy of all civilization, good, and puppies, you shouldn't have a job. You shouldn't have a home.
You're not responsible enough to manage anything. You're responsible enough to manage your TikTok and, sit in your mental goon chamber. But you should not be responsible for anybody else's time or resources because you're a child.
Yeah. It would be a mercy to put people like this in labor camps. I say that as a person who's not a fan of totalitarianism. I'm a fan of hard work and what it does for your mind.
Yep.
Work and hard work in the real world with your two hands that God gave you, science gave you, can do a hell of a lot of good for your mental health. These are people typically who are terminally online, addicted to the glowing demon box in their pocket, and think about nothing else except for their regrets. Should we watch a few more, and then if I'm feeling up to it, I'll work you through the Descent into Hell tier list that I wrote in 2020?
So if we're not in hell right now, where are we?
What do you mean?
Purgatory?
Are you saying planet Earth is purgatory?
No, I'm just saying like these clips are hellish.
Oh, people.
And you're saying
these people are in what I labeled the demonic tier. That's 16 levels down minimum.
Oh, Lord.
There are 25. So they're about halfway, a little over halfway.
All right, let's let this troll talk.
All right, here's another one.
People are getting death threats.
Okay, hold on. Guess the age.
30.
Yeah, 30.
So a lot of people are getting death threats today, including me. And they posted pictures of my house because they know where I live. So that's
she has
cool.
Children?
Just want to make it real clear that I've never had any thoughts to unalive myself.
She's afraid that Trump supporters are going to kill her.
She's not really afraid because she's posting more content.
That's right.
Like, if you were genuinely afraid, you'd be out of there.
That's right.
The whole quote-unquote death threat thing, it's like a badge of honor for these people. I've gotten death threats, but I'm still sitting in my backyard while my child is yelling mommy, making a TikTok video.
Yeah.
Hard work.
Yeah.
Do it.
How about
reconnect, touch grass, dig up some grass, do something.
Yeah. These people are Nazis. They want to put us in labor camps. It would do you a lot of good.
I mean, you remember that book, The Ultimate Gift, right?
Yes. Yes.
That was the first thing that, well, I don't want to go into it, but
the spoiled main character had the first thing he had to do to get his ultimate gift was to do manual labor on a farm in Texas, or a ranch anyway. Because it's true. And conservatives would tell you that, but no, you simply couldn't be out there without your, I don't know. What do they make fun of millennials for slurping down soy lattes and avocado
Olive
toast?
oil. Yeah.
Avocado
Olive
oil
lattes.
Yeah, something like that. Should we pivot a little bit to what the mainstream is saying? You want to go back to Don Lemon on the street in the after times?
Yes, please.
Literally the day after this happened?
You know Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, I do.
And what do you think of what happened to him?
You know, sometimes revenge is a dish best served cold. I hate to celebrate someone's death, but when you talk about guns rights and you talk about how much the Second Amendment means
guns
to you
rights
and impacts you, like, what do you expect? You know, sympathies to his
really
family,
glad this guy supports guns rights.
Let me clear this up for Americans who are listening. This man hates your Constitution. He hates your country, and he hates that you're guaranteed a right by God to defend yourself.
And he probably didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was until this happened.
Yeah,
but
so
he's happy that he's dead.
Right, so he's fronting that he's interested in protecting people from weapons, but it's a lie, you see. It's a lie because he hates your country, and he wants to live here and take your things, and he also doesn't want you to be able to fight back.
Yeah, he wants people to have weapons that will shoot people he doesn't like.
Yeah, that's what this man wants. He's not interested in protecting people from guns. He's interested in you not having them so he can take your stuff and your life and your women, including your, which includes your daughter, sister, mother, whatever he can get, really. He just wants you disarmed so he can take it. You see, I can do it too, lefties. I can misunderstand completely what you're saying and apply the worst possible interpretation and stick it on you. It's not hard. You're not smart.
But this is why we need gun control.
One of my friends said on social media, he died in a world that he wanted.
Yeah, he said it himself, right? There's a whole quote that's been floating around about sacrifices were made for the Second Amendment to still exist, or something along those lines, right? It's an ad-lib, but yeah, this is what happens. You reap what you sow, and it's sad that someone died, but also, hey,
What do you say to people who say,
yeah, exactly. Hey, he deserved it. And, he was successful and beloved, unlike you, who stand in the streets with your tiny shorts and your umbrella and your sneakers at 50. Talking to Don Lemon. Go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
I think hearing all these people being totally okay with the public assassination of, a controversial figure, it's just a cute little reminder what monsters we're all capable of becoming. And there are very few people where it's like you can understand their life, you can understand what they're about. But to say that they deserved it, something like that, you got to know what you're talking about, man. Like, if I were to say publicly, I'm glad that person was assassinated, I'd better be certain of who I'm talking about. I don't think under any circumstances you could consider a guy like Charlie Kirk that kind of a person. Like, if somebody, I don't know, and pardon my historical ignorance, but like, say a terrible figure like Stalin was assassinated, or an equivalent, like a Darth Vader figure, I'd be like, yeah, that's probably a good thing. That's a good thing, whatever. There'd be a lot of people who disagree, but like when you're talking about basically a podcaster who has different political opinions, who's almost an everyman in the Midwest.
Yes.
That's where it becomes really despicable, where it's like this man was a father and a husband, and he had a lot of people that liked him. And you're just going to walk out and be like, yeah, he deserved it. It's, it's sad somebody died, but it's all right. It's like, you didn't know who he was until this happened. How is he affecting your life? What is your problem? Like, don't we all have and maybe, yeah, this is going to sound really naive, but don't we all have a value of human life?
Nope. Not if you're a Nazi, which is what Charlie Kirk obviously was, according to these idiots, these people who believe dumb lies because it makes them feel better about their worthless selves. That's what it is. It's projection of the lowest kind. These people know they're worthless. And so they go after a man who is beloved, well-spoken, wouldn't harm a fly, and is making them feel worse by simply existing. We'll get to it. All right, shall we carry on? Would you like to continue with this interview with Don Lemon, or would you like to move on to what the mainstream had to say?
Do I want nothing or more nothing?
Yeah, do you want the gaping maw of hell, or do you want the funded gaping maw of hell? Because these people just do it for free because they're idiots.
Let's see the people who are getting paid.
All right. Here's one. This is Matthew Dowd of MSNBC. I'm pretty sure he was fired, believe it or not. This was the day it happened.
But following up what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions.
No shit.
So, wait, he's talking about Charlie Kirk, though, you see, because Charlie Kirk was full of hate.
Oh, he's not talking about his own people?
No, of course not. They don't, because they don't hate, you see.
Yes, it's an outpouring of love and goodwill from the bear community, as you would have said on We Talk About Dead People.
Yes. Maybe he wasn't the one who was fired. I don't know. There was another guy from MSNBC who literally went too far on the air, and they fired him.
Did you say anger leads to hate and hate leads to suffering?
Probably some bullshit like that, yeah. How about this guy? You like this guy, right? Colbert?
Stephen Colbert is... he's not even a funny joke. He's just like a bad joke, which I guess is all he produces. So
he's a traitor. He's a mercenary employed by the people who hate this country and our way of life and our civilization. He's employed by the people who would see you, me, everyone you know and love strung up on street lamps simply for being different.
Okay.
That's what this man is.
Yeah, I can respect a man who knows what he's about.
I can respect a mercenary. For shame.
The country is still shocked and horrified by yesterday's assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. However you feel about his politics,
that should not even come into the play, dude. Who wrote this script? A millennial?
Of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. However you feel about his politics, he was a young father of 2 small children and an American who has the constitutional right to express his opinion in safety. It should go without saying that violence is never the answer to political disagreement, but I think these days it should be said as often as possible. And in such troubling moments, I'm grateful to any leader who, instead of dividing us, points to our common humanity. Yesterday, Speaker Mike Johnson made a call to bring the temperature down. I agree with that sentiment. We should be able to settle our disagreements civilly. In the end, as Americans, we are all brothers and sisters.
Oh, so now we're trying to turn the temperature down.
Yeah. A little late.
Yeah, it's a little late here, buddy. I know he doesn't believe it, of course, because, he simply accepts his checks.
Yep. I just don't understand how you could be so stupid as to still listen to this guy. After all these years, he's not funny. He's not attractive.
You understand? Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go on. I understand what?
The people that we've been listening to love this guy.
Yeah, I don't get it.
They really believe that this is all real. Sorry, I'm stepping on you a lot.
No, it's all right. But I mean, I guess what comes from this, like when they start to panic, when they were like, oh, wait, all this propaganda and stuff gets people to do things. Yeah, it sure does.
They'll say this shit, and then in less than 2-3 days, they'll be right back to what they were doing before.
Yep.
And we can't listen to them anymore. I mean it. Like, we can't take people seriously who watch things like this. This is it. Things have changed.
Well, you think about a guy like this too, where it's like he can go and do his show, get paid, however many thousands, millions of dollars, whatever. He can go to his little pre-approved cage or one of his, dozens of cages and bask in his wealth.
Yeah.
Gated community where he doesn't really have to worry about any of this stuff, his security detail, all that.
What you're looking at is a house slave.
Yeah.
Yeah. This man is a slave. Yeah, do you think if he had a crisis,
he's probably blackmailed to hell as well.
Well, and if he had a crisis of conscience and said, I'm going to tell the truth, I'm going to tell people to stop watching, nobody would listen. It's network. If he ran out on the stage and said, it's all a lie, it's all a show, or whatever, they wouldn't believe him. He could fall down dead on the stage and they think it's part of the act. That's how fake this man is.
I can't imagine living in so many levels of delusion. But, maybe he is just outright evil and accepts it. I have no compassion for people like this.
Yes.
Whatsoever.
Exactly.
Like, what I just said about, like, valuing human life.
Yeah.
It's like there's a certain level where justice is the Lord's. And I wash my hands of your sins.
Yep. You and I mean,
I know I'm throwing a lot of shade at Stephen Colbert right now, but the web of influence that people like this have, it's a crime that can't be measured.
Right.
And justice is the Lord's because it's not going to be easy for him.
No.
So I hope he enjoys that glass of $300 scotch sitting next to his fire because it's I don't know where I'm going. I think I'm just all this is getting to me. Like
it's a lot. Yeah,
I'm upset, and let's carry on.
Highlight what you said at the beginning. You didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was. There's a really good chance you met Charlie Kirk when we were kids. I'm telling you, there's a good chance. And if you didn't meet him, you knew guys exactly like him. Literally from the same part of the state. And this man, with millions of dollars to his name, is out here telling you to stop being mad and to turn down the temperature. Spare me. How about another one? Here's one last moron with a phone.
Now that it's starting to simmer down, I do just want to say, if they think that the celebration and reaction to Mr. Kirk's demise was bad and distasteful, just wait until the orange one catches one.
Threatening the president is a crime.
No, it isn't.
Oh, not to them, of course. No.
No, it's a funny thing that you say.
Hilarious. Yeah, it's hilarious. And he's Hitler, so
so it'd be okay.
It's justified. Yeah, he's brave, very brave for putting his face out there, because the Trump government is going to kick down his door and execute him and his whole family. Yeah.
Dude, it's amazing, these people selling their souls for a bowl of soup. It's really unbelievable. It's like, yes, so I can get some fake internet points. I'm going to put my face on there saying this crap. Like, if all of their worst nightmares were realized and there was an authoritarian regime that rose up and started prosecuting these people, they'd know exactly where to find them.
It's not a nightmare. They're not worried about it. They don't know a damn thing about authoritarian governments. They don't read, Adam. Yep. They don't know anything. It's a sexual fantasy for them. I'm not kidding. They want it to happen because they enjoy being cucks. They want to be cucked harder.
Keep going.
Exactly. They would be the martyred heroes being sodomized by Nazis in their own homes, and they would love it. I'm not kidding. This entire thing is related to sex. Why do you think whatever this is, it's down there thinking to the max. Okay? Mm-hmm. We talked about it episodes ago. Probably a year ago, we talked about down there. These people are not a consciousness. They are a stomach. They eat and eat and eat and eat, and they want more. There's no satisfying them. It wasn't enough that Charlie Kirk bled out on camera. They had to come in and laugh. They asked for Barabbas, and then they took Barabbas to the crucifixion. Like, these are people who, like, sold freaking, like, they sold concessions at the crucifixion. That's what we're looking at. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Like, we're not looking at normal people. We're not even really looking at people who could understand what it is that we're talking about. They don't think. They just are, and they just eat. It's a miserable existence.
Have you heard the term solipsism before?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's what they are. They're solipsists.
Solipsism. I know what it means, I think. Very self-centered or selfish.
Number 2.
The viewer theory that the self is all that can be known to exist. Yes. Yes. Of course, they wouldn't know what solipsist means, but they'd use the word because they could get things out of it. You see?
All right. I see Scott Adams.
Well, hang on a second. There was a clip that was going around, and it was kind of, well, it wasn't a clip. It was a quote. And I found the clip, but I didn't include it because it's anime, and I don't watch anime, and it would drive Miss Producer crazy if I played a clip from an anime. But there was a line that was going around about this show where people fight demons, and one of the lines goes like this: "They're monsters who learn to lure in humans by screaming, 'Help me.'" It's going to take a lot for people to understand what it is that we're looking at here and why it's okay to fight back, because most people have never experienced this kind of hostility before, or at least have never been conscious of it. But now it's all coming out. And it doesn't really get more obvious than to see a freaking podcaster bleed out in front of his children and his wife at an event where he's talking to college students, and these people are dancing around like Hitler just died.
I think what the silver lining to seeing such bald-faced evil like this is that you remember that there's an equal and opposite reaction. And that was why COVID was what killed atheism for me. I was like, there is no explanation for this level of deliberate ignorance and deceit.
Yep.
That can't be like, I mean, it's just the law of nature. There is the opposite. And yeah, stuff like this, it does make people more spiritual.
It's not politics anymore. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is, it's a martyrdom is what it is. And it's like, that's why Christianity became what it was because of the martyrs and the saints.
Yes.
Because every attempt to put it down, to humiliate it, to kill it, simply made it stronger. It's a hydra.
Yeah. And you look at the model for the martyrs, right? The story of the crucifixion. It goes that a sinless teacher was put on the cross and killed just for teaching things that we all generally accept as basic morality now. Was that just? Not at all. Of course not. And so the martyrs and the saints were basically trying to mirror that. It was senseless that they were murdered. It was confused, angry people who had lost their heads, murdering innocent people who simply wanted to spread something that was good, that no matter what you do or who you are, you can be rescued by a God who loves you. There's a big difference between that and what these people are spreading, right?
Yeah, no, I want to drive this point a little further too. Like, George Floyd was a martyr for some people, but he wasn't a martyr for truth. The entire thing was centered around a false idol, which is why it resulted in destruction and nothing ever really getting resolved, just further agitation. Now this Charlie Kirk situation, you haven't seen any riots in the streets. You haven't seen people trashing their own businesses or harming their neighbors yet.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a difference here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, for sure. One was an invention, and most of the stories of the martyrs are legitimate. And I don't mean like, oh, they factually historically happened. Like, that's a whole other conversation. But the story goes that these people did nothing wrong, or they were misunderstood, or they were trying to do right and the world wasn't ready. Right? It's a little bit like people who are ascended, when they say something to, a group that isn't, they're in wonder at what this person said, and then they're simply confused, so they kill him, and then years later they realize that was brilliant. Like, that's what we're talking about here. But let's get into just a little bit here of Scott Adams' analysis. I listened to a lot of Scott Adams this week, weirdly enough. He sounds a lot better. I guess he found a good therapy that he's running that's preventing his cancer from killing him. He wasn't supposed to survive the summer. But here he is. It's September. So he had this to say.
So there are numerous stories of teachers and people associated with schools of various types who are getting canceled, meaning fired, for saying horrible things about essentially being happy or saying it was justified that Charlie Kirk got assassinated. What do you think about that? That people are losing their jobs all over the place. Well, let me tell you the thing that is most shocking about that. The most shocking thing is that the people who spoke out that way believed they wouldn't get fired. I think they were all surprised, which means they've been living entirely within a bubble in which they thought other people would agree with that. Are you kidding me? They thought they were in the bubble of reality where, let's say that Hitler was an American and he died. Would you feel bad about saying, thank God Hitler died? No, you wouldn't, because you would assume that almost every single person would agree with you. So it would be easy to say that. These people are saying it in public for the world to see, as if that's what a normal person would think. How hypnotized would you have to be? So in my mind anyway, and I think I've said it online at least once, I think of these people as the hypnotized Hitlerians. Hypnotized Hitlerians. You could drop the hypnotized if you need to. But the Hitlerians are people who live in this little world where they think Hitler actually came to power in the United States because so many bad people on the left have been saying that. People who should know better. So I actually have some weird empathy for these teachers getting fired for saying horrendous things about Charlie Kirk, because they actually think they're in a different reality than they are. How do you think you're in a different reality? Is it because you individually had some mental problem? Probably not. is probably really a predictable outcome of the rhetoric that we're seeing from the left.
Yeah.
I don't have empathy because I think as a grown adult, you have a responsibility to protect yourself from hysteria. I think it's important that you recognize when people are trying to get you jacked up so you do stupid things.
Yeah.
It's called discernment. It's a virtue. I understand what he's saying, that these people basically had no choice. They were brainwashed from the time that they were born, and usually like they just gave into a sense of pride that they were super smart for, I don't know, voting for Obama because he was interested in weed or something. Like, we grew up with these people. So did Charlie Kirk. But we're all 30 now, dude. Millennials have got to stop doing this.
They won't.
They won't. Exactly. They're too far in.
It's their favorite sport, and they won't ever put it down.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think Scott Adams said it really well there. It's like, I can't believe they were surprised, but it totally makes sense that they would be, because they have been living in a little bubble.
Well, see, here's the deal. Here's the thing. And I've got to get to this because otherwise we'll run way over, and I want to do it because I've been talking about it. I'm not going to pretend like this is an exhaustive list, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm some kind of theologian. I'm not going to say this came from the Bible or any other authoritative text, so it's probably wrong, all right? Get that out of the way. I did write this up in 2020 because I was observing how people were acting, and I was like, how on earth do people get like this? And I'm talking 2020, not COVID. I'm talking 2020 burning everyone's house down because you're mad about something and you can't explain what it is. And being offended that anyone would have a problem with that. How do you get to that? Well, I believe that a lot of this stuff starts with pain. Like, at the core of all of this stuff, and this is not to create empathy for these people, because personally I believe that the majority of them are too far gone to risk empathizing with anymore. Like, we gave them a chance. We gave them 20 years of an open mic, the presidency, 2 presidencies, and complete and utter control of the mainstream media. Okay? We've heard what they have to say. I don't think we can risk it anymore. I think it starts with pain, and that's tier 1. So any one of these levels that you're in, if you're in one of these, if you can recognize it, you can always work your way out. But if you continue to entertain these thoughts and you continue to believe that nothing can get better, that no one loves you, and that, there is no God or God hates you or whatever, you'll just get worse. So tier 1 is pain. Tier 2 is worry about pain. You're afraid it's going to happen again, which produces a constant state of fear, which a lot of people call anxiety. Because you live in a constant state of fear and anxiety, you begin to resent those around you who don't live like this. They don't know your pain. They don't know how bad it's been for you or whatever. And you try to explain to them and they'll listen, but eventually nobody can take it anymore and they leave you behind. Which, of course, turns to resentment. But as long as you let that resentment keep growing, you reach tier 5 and you get to living in a state of hatred. You hate people like Charlie Kirk because, I don't know, they're taller than you or something. At a certain point, this is the set of tiers that I call the subterranean. You produce a malicious mindset of victimhood. And if you're spurred on by others around you who feel the same way, you can form little gangs, which, of course, is isolating, which is tier 7, isolation. But and it feels good because you've got some relief from being all alone. Other people understand your pain. But the more you spend time with these people, the more you realize that none of them are making you any better. And so even though you have relief, even though you are taking this drug of empathy and people around you supporting you because they feel pain too, you begin to start loathing all of it because nothing is helping. So you turn to usually some kind of a drug, some other such vice, and you go into self-destruction, and ultimately you lose a sense of yourself altogether. You are just a walking pile of sadness and anger. Tier 11, you begin to lie to yourself. You begin to lie to others, because when you exist in pain for long enough and you exist in hurt, or you're disempowered for some reason, you do get this superpower where you can walk around normal, well-adjusted people rather easily, which is to say, they don't know, you don't expect them to know, but you know a world that they don't. Is this making sense?
Yeah, I didn't realize you were reading something.
I'm not reading something verbatim, but I have this list here.
Oh, okay.
So when you realize you can walk circles around people and they don't know what you're doing because they assume that you're still good, you can subvert them, which is fun. And you don't feel much other than pain. So when you feel a little fun by, pranking them or stealing something when they're not looking, and they either discover something's gone and they bring it to you or whatever, and you say, well, I don't know what it was, must have been a gnome, ha. And they never suspect it was you because they assume you're still a good one. You get a sense of power. Because now you're cleverer than they are, you see. Because you can take advantage of their good nature in assuming the best about you. Which, of course, leads to some form of empowerment, which you've never had before. Which means that you begin to lie to yourself about how smart you actually are. You're not smart. You're just taking advantage of a different paradigm of thought, one which is civilizational. And eventually you begin to love this so much, you sort of pledge your allegiance to it. You're like, I hate all of these people. I'll take everything that I can as long as they're dumb enough to give it to me. And I'll poke them in the eye whenever I can, as Crow says. This is the demonic level. This is I labeled this tier 16. You begin to sort of develop a pathology against anything good, anything fruitful. You begin to love only that which you can take, which means that you develop a love for evil. And then you begin to see that other people are hurting because of you. And now you're getting your revenge against them, and ultimately against God, for forgetting about you. C.S. Lewis wrote a book called Till We Have Faces, which is exactly about this. It's one of the hardest books to read, and I don't like it that he ever wrote, because it illustrates this almost exactly. Revenge turns into wanton bloodlust, where not only is it enough that you poke these people in the eye, now you want them gone. Because you can't exist with yourself, and they sure as hell shouldn't be able to exist at all, because they even had the gall to assume that anything good could ever happen. Of course, when you get into this, you become a zombie of sorts. You're no longer animated by anything like love. You've sort of forgotten what it was ever like to be a child held by your mother and feeling that. All you know now is the satisfaction of your appetites and the love of power, which means you forget all love. And once you've forgotten love, you forget yourself. And when you can't imagine anything other than yourself, you lose your imagination altogether. So at this point in the journey, you can't see a way out. You're too far in. You've said too much. You've done too much. This is usually where people are when they've finished shooting up a Catholic school. And then the kicker of all of it is ultimately people who reach this level almost always kill themselves. And that's when they learn the falsest lie of all, which is that death was a way out. So, I put at the end of this tier list, no evil can undo the hurt. No acceptance will allow a calm mind. And by acceptance, I mean the acceptance of others. And no amount of violence can kill the memory of the pain you've already suffered. It's already too late. This is the final black pill. Most people are not there. But this is why those kinds of people come out of this kind of movement. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean that's a That's a heavy black pill, but really, ultimately, that is where it leads. That's the core of evil.
Yes.
It promises you power and gifts and stuff and revenge. But at the end of it, what do you have? This is going to sound really stupid, and I'm not trying to take away from the weight of what you're saying, but the whole time you were talking about that, I was thinking about the PC game we used to play when we were children, Lego Island.
All right, tie it together. That's good.
So the premise of that game was you go to Lego Island. It's populated by Lego people, whatever. You can walk around and build stuff and things. But then at the center of the island, there's the prison, and there's one prisoner named the Brickster. And the whole story of the game is him busting out of jail, and he starts trashing Lego Island. He starts blowing up buildings and causing problems and stuff. And it was shocking to me the first time I played the end game as a child that if you lost, you got to see the Brickster win. If you won, they threw him in jail. Ha ha ha, it's great. But if you lost, you watched him destroy the entire city and then realize what he'd done. He's like, haha, I'm in charge. It's all me. It's all for me. And then he looks around, the entire island's on fire and everybody's weeping.
Jesus.
Do you remember that?
No. Should we watch it?
Yeah, see if you can find it.
Okay. I know people have done long plays of Lego Island. Let's see. Lego Island, Brickster.
Bad ending, I guess.
Bad ending. Let's see. Bad ending. Here it is.
It's mine, all mine. All mine.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much.
And it's the childishness of it that is what this is. We are watching a giant, massive temper tantrum.
Oh, God.
And they don't even know why they're doing it.
That's right. Yes. They don't know why they're doing it. It's the zombification aspect. Yes, they're animated by something that is not normal. It's not human. It's a will to destruction.
That's why, and I don't have kids, but I remember being taught as a child, when you were throwing a temper tantrum, they would just leave you and let you get it out of your system.
Yes.
And, the answer was not to go, oh, I'm so sorry, little Jimmy or whatever. It's okay. The answer was let them get it out of their system because they'll need to learn to handle this in the future. And that's what we've been watching in these solipsistic, schizophrenic bubbles, is people throwing tantrums and everybody going, oh, it's okay. You're so much better than everybody else, blah, blah. And so it ends up with you and your rage trashing everything that everybody else has built. And then realizing that you were just mad because you couldn't have what they had.
Yes. It's all envy. It's all envy.
That's why you have the 10 Commandments, and that's why you have things like that, is you put a stop to that shit, because the ultimate goal is, like you said, it's a psychosexual thing. It's like it's a cycle that has to keep going because you have to get the next hit. You have to get the next hit. It's like a drug.
Yes.
And of course it's going to lead to the ultimate high, which is death.
Yes. God. You're so right.
I'm not trying to be dark about this. I'm just saying that your parents were right when they told you where this all leads. They weren't being dramatic, because it will take you there if you let it.
Yes. Yes.
The wages of sin is death. How many Bible verses can we quote on this show?
God. No, but you're right. You're freaking right. The wages of sin is death.
But the gift of God is eternal life.
Yes. Yes. And say what you want. No one's going to forget Charlie Kirk's name anytime soon. I don't even know how to transition out of that. That was incredible. How about a fun one, Adam? How about, you did all this work. You showed up on your off day. How about a little truth?
Oh, man. Really?
I mean, it's not like we spat truth for this entire episode.
Do you mean it?
I do mean it. This is just for you. Here we go.
Oh, you're the best.
This is Kash Patel talking about the investigation.
Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise.
Maybe the Freemasons are winning. At least they, they're the more approachable ones. They got their little lodges.
Yeah.
Maybe they aren't so bad.
They drive around in those little cars with the hats.
Well, those are the Shriners.
Those are Masons.
Oh.
Shriners are Masons. Yeah.
They're like spicy Masons.
They really embrace the Persian piracy aspect of Freemasonry.
I mean, why not have fun with it?
Yeah, yeah. But there you go. There's your 33. And before we go to the end here, I have one last clip. This was trending yesterday. And good Lord, is it apropos of the show. This girl wants to reinstate the Smith-Mundt Act, call it the Charlie Kirk Act. Do you know what the Smith-Mundt Act is?
No.
You've heard of it before. I'll let her explain.
Alrighty, this message is for President Trump and his administration. If you stay to watch the video, please tag him down below, share, and repost so we can try to get this to him as quickly as possible and hope that he can do something with this. President Trump, as a supporter who voted for you 3 times, I am hoping and praying that you will revisit what Barack Obama and Joe Biden got rid of back in 2013, which is the Smith-Mundt Act, which held news corporations accountable for lying to the American people and spreading propaganda instead of truth. I think instead of bringing it back as a Smith-Mundt Act, you name it the Charlie Kirk Act, you make it a law, and you make it damn near impossible for these people to continue to lie to the American public, which has brought chaos, hatred, division, and anarchy all across this country. Fines out the ass, which will damn near bankrupt their companies should they lie to the American people ever again. They can have their opinions, that's fine. They need to state that it is their opinion and that it is not a fact. Because of their constant lies, a man lost his life over it. Because of the constant hateful rhetoric of calling him a fascist and a Nazi and a white supremacist and a bigot, the same thing that they've called you, this man is dead. I think this would be a great legacy for him to have a law named after him to force journalists to finally start telling the truth and having the integrity that they have lacked for over a decade. I hope that this gets to you. I hope that you think about it and that you pass it into law.
The Smith-Mundt Act was developed to regulate broadcasting of programs for foreign audiences produced under the guidance of the State Department, and it prohibited domestic dissemination of materials produced by such programs as one of its own provisions. The original version of the act was amended in 2012 under Barack Obama, which allowed for materials produced by the State Department and the Broadcasting Board of Governors to be made available within the United States. That's the Wikipedia entry on the Smith-Mundt Act. Do you want to ask Gab AI what the Smith-Mundt Act was?
Sure.
What was, because, it's not a liar or whatever. What was the Smith-Mundt Act, and how does it relate to propaganda? Let's see. Let's see. Legislation authorized the U.S. government to engage in public diplomacy efforts abroad through broadcasting. It's popularly understood to be something that prohibited using propaganda in the United States on United States citizens. At least that's how it was used. And this was amended by Barack Obama. That's what she's talking about. No Agenda talks about it all the time. There was a major historical period in the United States after the war, particularly, that was very concerned about how weaponized communications technologies could be used to forward communist ideas in the United States. It wasn't.
Come on, that would never happen.
Well, I mean, you had the House on Un-American, or the what is it? The House Committee on Un-American Activities or something like that. HUAC, was it?
I don't know.
I got to make sure I say that right. House Un-American Activities Committee. There's a huge history of trying to prevent what has happened in this country from happening, because broadcast technology is a weapon. That's what it is. Like, the Second Amendment might as well have been about the phone in your pocket. But instead, now we're watching these big power players what would you say, reap what they've sown? And you got Colbert out here being like, we didn't mean it. For the love of God, we didn't mean it. I support this. We need to have regulation on these companies again.
And penalties. Severe penalties.
Severe penalties. Well, what about free speech? Well, you can say whatever you want. Broadcasting it as the news, as if you're Mr. Objective over here, just telling it like it is. How do you think we have people so radicalized in this country? Because the people that we were talking about, the millennials that we were talking about, that we grew up with, who weren't the Charlie Kirk types, they freaking loved Colbert. They freaking loved John Oliver. They watched this stuff all the time, and they would sneer at me, and I know you, but they would sneer at us, guys like us, at 15 years old for watching Fox. At 15. And now we see where it's gotten us. Yes, it's a slow creep, but if we're going to move past the information age and not just fizzle out as a country or as an entire, we're not going to like blow up in a civil war because of this stuff. We have to get smarter about preventing this kind of crap from happening. We have to study these things. We have to understand how this stuff works. Because if we don't, we're just going to do this all over again. And I don't want to do that, do you?
No. I've had enough.
I know.
haven't had a break since I don't know, second grade.
We haven't had a break since the television was invented. Since the radio was invented, we haven't had a break. Dude. Most modern wars couldn't happen without these people. Certainly not a civil war in the United States. Do you ever think you'd have people at each other's throats, like, in their own neighborhoods because one of them watched Fox and one of them watched CNN, if this wasn't some form of, like, I don't know, intentional destruction? It's a weapon. On top of that, like, we just watched a man get his neck blown out by a person who was definitely affected by this stuff. No, you can't prevent people from entertaining bad ideas. But we can at least improve people's ability to discern bad ideas. Because one thing that I will say is that one thing midwits believe is that if you can say it eloquently, it becomes more true. And that's how a lot of them believe a lot of really stupid things and go down the path of destruction. Any final thoughts?
No, I think we said enough.
All right.
And yeah, I feel like I need to keep talking because I know this song's going to kick off.
No, you don't got to do that. we'll just let the music play us out. But I feel like this was probably one of our strongest conversations we've had about this. Just for you listeners, I've got Pete Quinones coming back. We're going to talk about the history of cult think and leftism because he knows a lot about it and because he has an antipathy toward it, which I've, of course, developed as well. We should expect to get an excellent conversation about that. That's coming up, recording that Thursday. And so that may replace our normal episode next weekend, but I think it's going to be totally worth it and totally awesome because the man knows this stuff. Anyway, thanks for donating to the show, and thanks for listening. Share it with your dumb friends. We'll see you next time on the Clowntown Chronicle. Everybody have a great week. Keep your chin up, as Tom said in the Telegram. Keep your chin up. The sun is coming.
We have to go back.